Hello, everybody. I see some of you already here. Hey, Phil. And who else? Nemo and Phil and Carrie. Hey, Carrie. And ZXL Master. No, I have not been sanctioned yet. Uh, I might be. Who knows? Um, but hey, everybody. I'm not entirely sure how well this will go tonight. I keep getting messages that my connection is failing. So we'll see. Last time it worked out. We'll see whether it works out tonight as well. Um, First off, I need to get the uh, public service announcement part of the stream out of the way. Like the title says, the MPox Strikes Back. So first, I will show you the full PSA of that was partially the thumbnail for tonight, and you can go grab it at Shades of Grey if you like. I put a link underneath the video, but there it is. The font is by cartoonist Milton Knight. The model is Gina Bellman. And apparently the monkey there is our good pal Surrender Monkey. And the text is, "One night of fun, a lifetime of regret. Be safe. Beware the monkeypox." So why is monkeypox coming up again? Well, apparently because, let's see. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I don't have. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, there it is. Phil, we'll bring him up. Maybe he has some comments to
Hello.
make about this too. Hey, Phil, I'm just going to get the
What what
PSA. I'm sorry, go ahead.
what are we commenting about?
Well, I have a PSA portion of the show because I was alerted today that, along with doctors across the country, that the MPox is now a threat to one and all, apparently, this
Oh,
summer.
okay. Okay.
MPox being what we used to refer to as monkeypox, but they've rebranded it because we all have to be afraid of it. So I just want to make sure that you guys all know to be fearful.
I'm sufficiently fearful.
Okay. Well, CDC warns about potential risk of MPox ahead of summer gatherings. It warned that summer gatherings could lead to a, quote, resurgence. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention alerted doctors across the country Monday that the potential risk for new MPox, formerly known as monkeypox cases, warning that summer gatherings could lead to a resurgence. This was originally a script for an on-air thing, so that's why it's a bit repetitive. Public health experts interviewed by ABC News warned that the LGBTQ community, which was disproportionately, I think you're drinking. Are you drinking there, Phil?
No, I was vaping. I thought I had mute on, but apparently
Oh,
not. Wrong
well,
device. Sorry. I will mute it.
make sure you disinfect it because I don't want any of my viewers or readers to catch the monkeypox or the MPox, as it's now known. M,
Well, well,
M,
I am, and I hope this doesn't upset anybody, but I do feel like I am a lesbian inside.
okay, well then you're somewhere in this LGBTQ thing. Because I guess Q is now far more limited in scope than it was when I was growing up, apparently, um, or far wider. I can't quite tell it's a moving target. So let's see here. Mpox cases have plummeted since a peak in the summer of 2022, with the World Health Organization calling an end to the emergency phase of the outbreak on Thursday. But the virus is not completely eradicated. While transmissions, okay, this is John Brownstein, PhD, Chief Innovation Officer at Boston Children's Hospital and an ABC News contributor. He had this to say. While the transmission of monkeypox has reached its lowest level since its emergence last year, the upcoming summer months, characterized by larger gatherings, present an increased risk for local outbreaks. The most important message is that MPox has not gone away. This is Dr. Silvera. He's an MD, an MPH, and a CPH, and the Associate Program Director for Infectious Diseases Fellowship and Assistant Professor of Medicine, Infectious Diseases at the Icahn School of Medicine. Let's see. MPox is not usually life-threatening. It's probably far worse, Carrie. The MBOP, I mean, is far worse than the monkeypox. Let's see. There's been 12 cases in Chicago from April 17th to May 5th. Let's see. Meanwhile, health officials in cities like Chicago and San Francisco, as well as New York State, are amplifying their vaccine efforts for MPox as we approach the summer months and upcoming Pride events. All right, so if you go to Pride events, don't have sex with monkeys. That would be protection number one. And if you must have sex with monkeys, use protection. And then they go on.
I certainly don't plan to have sex with the surrender monkey, so I think I'm covered.
That's good. Let's see. The 2022 global MPox outbreak disproportionately impacted gay and bisexual men, but anyone can get or spread monkeypox, regardless of their sexual orientation or how they identify. Okay. It spreads most easily through close skin-to-skin contact, often during sex. It does not easily spread via casual contact, such as touching shared surfaces like elevator buttons or brushing against someone. So refer up at the top where I said, avoid the monkeys. And apparently avoid doing things with random folks at Pride events. So basically, don't be a moron is how you avoid catching monkeypox, or MPox as it's now called. So if you
fair enough.
If you can avoid being stupid while out and about during summertime, cower in your hovels. Be very afraid of the MPox. Although Brownstein does have this to say, vaccination stands as the most effective means of safeguarding oneself against monkeypox. However, only a small fraction of those eligible have received the vaccine so far. Increasing vaccination coverage is likely to contribute to reducing monkeypox transmission, as would a lockdown. Do we need another lockdown? No, we don't need another lockdown. We need to not catch monkeypox, especially if you're one of my viewers.
Damn it, my mute button didn't work. Yeah, we need another lockdown because I want to continue working from home. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to go in every day of the lockdown. And it would be the same thing.
I have to go in 3 days a week, but they never said how long I have to stay. So I go in for about 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and then I just come back home. And so far, nobody said a word.
Just go in, have a meeting. Hey, ZXL Master. And, yep, I think that's the general message that the powers that be are trying to transmit, along with monkeypox. So,
well, don't fear, Steve. Ron DeSantis will have a cure for this.
No doubt. So anyhow, in case you need to see the PSA again, there it is. And I don't know why it shifted. It was actually properly displaying. Now it's not.
I like the picture, though.
So, yeah, I don't know why this is now back at the top of the screen. It was gone a moment ago. Now it's back. But anyhow, that is, as I said, it's Gina Bellman, Surrender Monkey sitting there, and Milton Knight did the font. So that is the PSA.
Do you know who the model is?
Yeah, Gina Bellman. It's Gina Bellman, I think about 20 years ago, or maybe not quite that long ago. It's an older picture. Gina Bellman, she was in Leverage, if you saw that show, both Leverage and...
Oh, yeah.
And the sequel that they did a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a crap sequel. But...
Yeah, the couple of first episodes, I thought it started out okay, and it just went downhill extremely fast. It was almost good that the whole pandemic put an end to it. And yes, Carrie, that is indeed the case. The lettering is very strategically placed. So maybe I will get sanctioned by YouTube, but this is for a good cause. This is so everybody gets the warning about. Really, I like it, but then I like Milton's work, so it's actually a font he produced based on his lettering and it's in a lot of his cartoons. It's called Nightlife. I don't know if it's available out there or not. Bah, you people have no taste. um, it's artistic, and it's about monkeypox. It's supposed to be annoying, and like I said, I like it because I like Milton stuff. Anyhow, now that the well, do we need to watch some YouTube monkeypox PSAs, or do we know all we need to know about monkeypox?
I think we're good.
Nudie pics. Yes, it was a PSA portion of the show, and you missed it. So you either timed it absolutely right.
Or Dan, you need to come up because Nemo has a request, and I need the white smoke.
Nemo has a request. Okay. All right, so we're going to skip that. And I think I once again will put off talk about swatting because I had a very quiet day at work today, so I got to watch about 80% of Welsh News Network's broadcast, and it annoyed the living hell out of me. Not the hosts, not the panelists, but the subject being covered and the things he was discussing and the terms in which he was framing them and the just absolute complete lack of anything that passed for research. Uh-oh, we have a vote against Dan coming up. Oh, you know what? You know what some dummy didn't do? Just in case, if he wants to come up, he can. If not,
I just need approval for one thing.
oh, there he is. All right. I think I will join all of you other people.
No, we need to. Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Nemo thinks I should be promoted to Pope.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes, thanks, Nemo. I'm in. Pope Phil, yes.
So,
Pope Phil, the non-pious.
Yeah. Is it impious?
No, that's infamous.
Infamous.
Right.
So,
okay, Steve, we need to talk about the super chat that got you all twisted up there.
that I thought was so hilarious.
Well, no, you seem to be a little bit upset that he received a super chat.
Oh no, you misunderstood. I thought his reaction to it was asinine. Let me see. I actually screen grabbed and emailed to myself, and I forgot to download it because, like chili, I don't prepare for these things, obviously. Oh no, I just doxed my email account.
Nemo, you haven't done enough for me yet to promote you to Cardinal, so you need to work on that.
So I don't know if I can. I think I can make this large enough for people to see. So this was a super chat that came upon the screen during Chilito's absolutely over the top, stupid broadcast that was covered by Welsh News Network. The super chat read, And maybe I need to show the video actually because it's his reaction that annoyed me. The super chat.
It was great. It was priceless.
Yeah,
You could
yeah. I mean,
see the wheels turning in his head.
the mask totally dropped. The mask was totally gone. We got to see Chilito and Natural and his.
There you go, Steve. A bigger version of the super chat.
Oh, there we go. That's even better. Someone actually was prepared and cropped it out and made it bigger. All right. So there. Now everybody can read it. I hope. Chili, please don't give any more money to Jerry. His story always changes, and the best situation is for Sky to go to another family member till they can get clean, jobs, and an apartment. You are loved. Waldo DeBaldo. And Chilito just got absolutely furious when this came upon the screen.
Now here's the best part about this. This was a wrenched mod in his chat.
Oh,
yep.
So this is someone he has. I'm going to assume has given him money, which is how he became a wrenched mod.
so his much vaunted team.
Yes. This is one of his biggest supporters.
Oh my! No wonder he was trying to backpedal a little bit. A few minutes later.
Well, and right after this chat, he's no longer a wrenched mod, and all of his chats were deleted from his stream.
Oh my god! What an absolute, completely self-absorbed asshole. Wow.
But he's not the only one of Chili's mods who has a problem with this. Gloria also has an issue with it.
With him giving money to Jeremy Payne?
Gloria hates him. Gloria
Hank,
used to
where'd you
be a
go?
mod for Jeremy.
She did what? I'm sorry?
Gloria used to be a mod for Jeremy.
Oh, really?
Yep. Until she called him out for grifting the audience.
I'm trying to remember where that super chat happened. It was in this stream, though, right?
Yeah, it was in that stream. Hang on, can I see it on this? How far in?
Yeah, I should have kept
15 minutes, 28 seconds, I believe.
Way back here. All right. Because I just want to make sure. Oh, Hank. Hey, Hank. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Hank.
He's stalking me. He's stalking me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw your comment about it. It almost made him cry. It almost made me laugh. But let's see what he had to say.
Look at his face.
So here's a. What's that?
Look at his face right after the message comes up.
Right here. Oh yeah, here it is. Chat. There it is in his chat. So, because I couldn't see the chat, of course. Hey, Surrender Monkey, you missed us showing the picture of your photo shoot with Gina Bellman.
In our country.
He wishes.
It's the same relationship the prosecutor has with not quite the jail guards, but he's going to protect the jail guards and cops. In a microcosm, this is how prosecutors and police are in the United States of America. If you don't...
Hey, phase one.
Do you think those clips got a spanking?
Can
Yes.
you go to full screen it so it's a bigger picture?
I don't know if that that didn't make it bigger, did it? No, I don't think so.
No.
Hang on.
I have a crappy setup.
Give me a sec, I'll call it up.
Nope, that won't work. One of my agendas during the last week when I had it off was to actually get a little bit of setup here, but did I end on that? No, of course not.
Try
to,
move.
It should be that box in the very bottom right-hand corner.
You might also try moving us to the side.
Oh, that's actually an idea. Let's try that.
Or if you can take us off. Yeah. Now full screen it.
See if this does it better. No.
Why is it?
Well, it's because the monitor that it's on is vertical rather than horizontal. And last time I tried dragging something over to the other monitor, we lost it all. But we have a better one here, I think. There we go.
Is that better?
Yep.
That's better.
America. If you don't, hey, Colin, don't show shit like that, dude. I just. Okay, so.
He's literally about to cry.
Colin, I just love the way that
we have to watch
Clips pulled it back up after he told him not to show it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let me.
I wonder if Clips isn't upset about it too. That's what I think.
Hide that
Only because he got a spanking. Let me know if you want me to play a little bit more or whatever.
Let's just watch it a bit again for the moment.
In the United States of America, if you don't, hey, Colin, don't show shit like that, dude. I'm
gonna cry.
Okay, so this is the relationship.
Oh, don't show shit like that's making me money. Oh my God! And you're saying that he doesn't have a wrench anymore. You're right. And Delete Law's clips down below says thank you, Mr. Waldo, for the chat, which is more than Mr. Toledo could do. Oh. No.
Wow.
Am I taking joy in someone else's embarrassment?
Yes.
Yes.
Should I feel bad?
No. No.
Yeah, but they don't. Oh, sorry.
What?
It doesn't count as feeling bad when you're taking joy at Chili's embarrassment. That's just called Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, if he didn't put his material to where you can't do clips from it, that would be a thing worth clipping and just playing.
Who says you can't do clips from it?
When you go to go to his channel, to his videos, and try to do the YouTube clip thing from it.
No, never mind that. Would you like a clip from it? Would you like this clipped for you?
Sure, why not?
We'll get on that and we'll email it across to you, Steve.
Okay, sounds good. But the rest of this in this video from today, I mean, it started with the first one where he was cherry picking. Here, this I think I can make big enough people can see it. He was supposedly going over the article. What's this? Oh, Oh, Dr. Dave has hidden something. I don't know what. Well, that's interesting. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, there's the PSA that you missed, Dan. Oh, no, it's not. You guys can't see it. So, there.
We
Just-
saw the PSA. That's why I said nudie pics. I'm in.
Oh, you were in it. Yeah, that's right. You were here by the time. You missed the boring part. Let's see. Okay,
There's
so
a boring part of having nudie pics on the screen.
Well,
You're doing it wrong.
well,
he went to read the article, Dan. That was the problem.
What? There's an article attached to that?
yes, the MPox is going to doom us all if we're not careful.
Yeah, something's going to kill us all. May as well be that.
Yeah. Well, that could be. So I think looking at the people here in side chat, I think everyone was there for the coverage by the Welsh News Network earlier today. So everybody got to see Cholito's absolute inability to read a sentence or even just exhibit basic reading comprehension. So I don't know if I need to, replay that. But you know what? Yeah, I guess I will. I'll just do this just to set it up. Am I too loud, by the way?
No.
Not to be.
Okay. All right.
It's this wonderful thing called a volume button.
I know. I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't cranked it up too loud. But in case you missed this earlier, I think I'm at the right spot.
When did he start ruling? When did that happen? How does he rule that no criminal? I thought a grand jury determined that. Last I checked, a grand jury determines.
So there's a headline on an article. Headline reads, Chalfant, no criminal charges in death of inmate held in Jackson County Jail. He's not this. Even the headline doesn't say he rules. It's misusing sort of a term that a judge does. And in the article, let's see if I'm past the part where he actually reads this first paragraph, and he doesn't even realize.
No food or liquid for 20 days.
All right.
There's Joshua McLemore right there. McLemore died in August after weeks in a padded cell in the Jackson County Jail. A prosecutor declined to bring charges against jail staff, but concluded most likely died due to prolonged lack of attention. I mean, what the hell's going on?
So I read the entire article after I got home from work. So I have based on Cholito's ongoing rants here, I don't think he read the whole article, or if he did, again, he didn't comprehend what he was reading. I will agree 100% that what happened here was a failure of the system on pretty much every level, except the prosecutor.
Right.
And the article explains exactly why the prosecutor came to the conclusion that he did. So you have the headline that he went on and on about. So yeah, the shift of the focus tonight is a little different than I'd intended, because I still want to get to talk about swatting, although he'll probably come around to swatting, because I don't have words to describe how annoyed I was with his I'll talk about the letter. We have to look at his letter. Okay.
Well, but before you move on, okay. So I never did come across this particular article. I did a Google search that lasted literally 10 seconds, and I pulled up a much better article than this.
Yep. I'm going with this.
The report was based off of the state patrol that did the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
That concluded it was a failure on multiple parts.
Yep.
So it's not even the prosecutor, it's the people who did the investigation, which was the state patrol, not even the county. Like, it's just 10 seconds, Chili. 10 seconds.
What gets me is, you know that headline that you can see right there in front of you?
Yep. Chiffon rules no criminal charges in death of inmate held in Jackson County Jail Pad itself for 20 days, refusing food and liquids. It's even in the headline.
So how would Chile giving the guy a bottle of water have made any fucking difference?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why did the jail ever given him a bottle of water? No, because you wouldn't have gotten anywhere near him, and there are many
Right.
reasons for that. But I know a little bit about some jail procedures, and that's why I said this was a fail on many a system fail on many levels. This guy, I think, well, and number one, he doesn't understand the process, because the state patrol did the investigation because the jail's own internal affairs staff, I don't know what they call it there, but their own staff could not investigate something like this. So that's why the state patrol did the investigation. It not a cover up. It's not trying to bury it the way Cholito kept going on about. In fact, everything here to me indicates that part of this whole process worked. What didn't work is when this guy, Macklemore, if you watch Cholito read this, he read the first paragraph, he misread the headline. Then when he got down to the first paragraph, Jackson County prosecutor Jeffrey A. I don't know if it's Chalfant or how that's pronounced, but Chalfant, I don't know, has found that no crimes were committed in the Jackson County by Jackson County jail employees after the death of inmate Joshua A. Macklemore. He died of multiple organ failure after refusing to eat or drink for days without being taken for medical attention. The second half of this paragraph, which he never bothered reading, that's right there. That's the where I say, okay, this is where the jail staff failed.
Now, to be fair to the jail staff, they may not have failed.
Oh,
There's an issue that people keep overlooking. He was in jail because the hospital put him in jail.
right.
They may have refused to have him back.
Oh yes.
Right.
That was one thing I would actually, again, from what I know of some of this, not this particular case, but, and here, I mean, nobody can see it. I talk with my hands, but the facilities that I'm familiar with, somebody like this, and this one, I don't know this place, I don't know how they were trained, but something like this, there would be constant checks on him, and it would be a lot quicker than 20 days before they would try to do something with him. But again, maybe there was nowhere else to send him. That's the real problem that I'm seeing with our system here in the States, is that a lot of these people that have mental issues, the hospitals take them, the mental institutions either don't exist or they don't have room for them for weeks and months down the line. But no, this nonsense. I'm sorry, Phil. You were going to say something?
Well, they were called to his house. He has untreated schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So, and the jail, from what I've read, the jail has one nurse.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
So,
and
if you have somebody who has untreated schizophrenia, who's there to treat him?
right.
This was the whole problem. I mean, the one Chile should have been railing at and screaming for them to be fired was the hospital administrator.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, because again, I know a little bit of this from the inside. Well, yes and no. I know a little bit about this. Even if that off-duty officer working at security calls the police and they show up, it's the hospital that said, yes, we want him out of here. Take him away. So you're absolutely right. It's the hospital that the hospital knew the guy was nuts. And if this was that's something else. I know these sorts of things from perspective of larger facilities. And if this had been a larger facility, I'm almost 99% certain that there would have been, if you tell me there's only one nurse then yeah, then there's hours where nothing happens, even because shift change, and I'm even looking here, but there would be multiple. There actually would be specialized staff that dealt with mental issues. But
Even the specialized staff may have had an issue with this guy. He was trying to eat the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
yeah, they say they damaged police cars while they were transporting him to jail,
Yeah,
and he
and attacked a nurse.
yeah
Well, no, to be fair, the attack on the nurse, he pulled the nurse's hair. That's what
Wow.
he was in jail for.
right. And the
Right.
thing about that, again, I don't know his specific situation, but that actually is not. If her hair was loose, that's not an uncommon kind of reaction you see from people that are in the middle of an episode.
Yeah.
So
What idiot would be upset that the guy who is literally having a psychotic episode, who they've been warned is having a psychotic episode, behaved like he's having a psychotic episode?
yep, yep, yeah. He was found naked and incoherent in his apartment.
He couldn't even give them his right name.
Yep. The police brought him to the
Yeah,
hospital.
that's sort of the part that kind of confuses me, is why the hospital didn't at least try to load him up with Thorazine or some sedative, just
Yeah.
something to calm him down.
Yeah. And I'm also not sure whether, again, because this is the only article I went to, because this is the one that Chile was using. And he said that the state police noted there was no follow-up to photograph, fingerprint, or check the medical book-in questions. See, that last part, check the medical book-in questions. I understand why none of this probably happened, because the guy never got out of the psychotic break he was in. So when they asked him these medical questions, he wasn't given a coherent answer. And if he somehow had avoided becoming into the system until this point, they would not have fingerprints to run him against anyway. Well, no, they couldn't. They didn't fingerprint him because of he was impossible to deal with. So yeah, state police noted there was no follow-up to photograph, fingerprint, or check medical book-in questions. So again, without having, and this is something else that I just blew my mind about Chile. He hasn't read the report that the state police did. I haven't read the report. I've read this very superficial article. I can make assumptions, I can make guesses, but I don't know that my guesses are correct because the sentence, he was not fingerprinted, photographed, or asked any book-in or medical questions, and there was no follow-up on any of that. That can mean 100 different things. There can be and it actually even says if you keep reading, during the 20-day jail incarceration, Macklemore remained naked in the padded cell, unable to dress himself or allow jail staff to dress him. According to the state police, jail staff said he rarely ate, slept, or drank. And this is where I'm saying SIS failed on all levels, because they should have been able to find some other hospital to ship him off to. Although I'm still saying it was probably, there was nowhere for the high security mental hospitals for him to go to. That's what I'm thinking. And this jail was clearly not equipped to handle somebody like this.
No. There's also, I have briefly gone through the report, nowhere near good enough, just a quick scan over it. They even had to do things like, they had to go in mob-handed and strap him down in order to bathe him.
Yeah,
Because
they
every
say
so often they were going in to bathe him because he was covered in his own shit.
Yep. Yeah. During his stay at the jail, Macklemore was at one point in a straitjacket due to his erratic and self-harming behavior, state police said. He was taken out of the cell 3 times for the cell to be cleaned. According to the state police, Macklemore's cell had a restroom attached to it through a locked door, but which jail staff said is unlocked at the inmate's request to use as a restroom or shower, but he never made any such requests. So, yeah. No, Chile he stopped at like paragraph 2 and has not bothered looking at anything else. Because you go down, And this other thing that makes me go, okay, this facility was not equipped to deal with somebody like this, because A, you got to get them out of their psychotic state, and B, isolation, at least for some of them, make it worse. But they were not equipped to deal with this guy. That's just problem number one. But Dan, you're right. I think it starts with the hospital saying he assaulted nurses. We want him out of here. And then they took him to Mercy West Hospital because medical issues have become critical. Let's see. Where did I see that bit about the state police investigators told? Let's see. Hey, Becca, welcome.
Hey, back up.
During psychotic episodes, the skin often feels prickly and pins and needles. Poop on the skin feels like the bugs are covered. Yeah, I've actually heard that too. I think I read it somewhere as well. Let's see. State police reported to Chalfant that no single person committed an act or omission that constituted a crime, and that Macklemore most likely died due to a prolonged lack of attention by Jackson jail staff as a group. See, that sentence right there makes me think. Again, I'm doing a Toledo here. I'm just based on what I'm reading. This facility was too small and just not equipped to deal with something like this. They were not trained to deal with something like this.
They're not.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem is they're not trained to. They can observe the behavior, but they don't know what to do with the behavior.
Yeah, one of the places I've
But
worked
the big thing is, it's not their job.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not social workers. They're not mental health nurses. They're jailers.
Yep.
Well, and here's the thing that I thought about last night. Suppose they had strapped this guy down and force fed him.
They can't.
Well,
Right.
I know, but let's suppose they did.
No, literally they can't. It would be a crime.
Yeah.
I understand that, but let's suspend that for a moment. Let's just suppose they strapped him down and force fed him. Then Chile would read an article about a guy being force fed by the state, and then he'd be upset that the state force fed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no winning with him.
Right.
In order, because it's one of the things Chile does go on about, is feeding him and stuff. In order to do that, they would have to find a DA who was prepared to go and get the medical advisors to go to give testimony before a judge to have him declared mentally incompetent.
Right.
Yep. And that all takes time. And for all we know, that could have been in process.
And it is immensely difficult to do because you've got to get a doctor to swear blind that this guy's mentally incompetent.
Yep.
And near death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the facilities I've dealt with have all been larger. They've all had medical staff, 4, 5, 6 nurses, a couple of doctors. They've all had literal medical wings and medical floors and cells and this place just sounds like they were absolutely not equipped. The places where I've worked in the past, every year, everybody that interacted with inmates and detainees and people being booked in had to take basic first aid training and basic training about how to recognize if someone is in mental crisis or looks like they're about to go into mental crisis, and then know that you tell a nurse that this might be happening. But so that might have been a little bit of what's going on here as well. But I think more it's just as a smaller facility, and this guy had nowhere to go but there. They could not, and it's like Nemo says, this is a real problem. In pretty much any facility that I currently have any kind of connection to.
Just to clear up something, just kind of in the chat there, Kelly, I'm not suggesting they should have force fed him. My point is this: regardless of what the jail did, Chili would have a conniption about this,
Yeah.
no matter what. He's latched on to the fact that the guy died, but my point is, even if the jail had force-fed him, he'd be upset over that.
And
because he just can't get past. He hates cops.
Yeah.
And to be fair, what Nemo said, it's not just the post-COVID work environment. Seriously, would you want to be a jailer right now with the way that these idiots are behaving to anyone that's involved in law enforcement?
No.
Yeah. But the problem actually really started with COVID when they went into the they kept moving the goalposts. First it was, get this shot and you won't get COVID. Get vaccinated, you won't get COVID. And then it was, get this other shot and you won't get COVID. Then it was, well, you have to get this shot, but you'll get COVID. And if you don't get this shot, we're going to fire you. And some people said, well, I don't want to get the shot. And so they fired him. Other people were sick of the environment. That's like Dan said, the shit that everybody gets constantly from every direction, including, I think it's hilarious that Chili's going on about the district attorneys are all buddy-buddy with cops and jail staff. Well, yes, to some extent they are, because we're all part of the same machinery, just like defense attorneys are buddy-buddy with cops and jail staff. But I could relate stories where police officers and detectives have been very angry at prosecutors for the way the way cases have been handled.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you can find ones where prosecutors are very angry and upset at police officers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I have friends that are both prosecutors, and I have separate friends that are also police officers. And yes, they all tell stories about each other.
Yeah.
And what they screwed up.
Yep. And another sentence that jumps out at me, again, just because I know a lot of superficial stuff about some of this, but in general, but not. But so he refused to eat and drink, so died from multiple organ failure. Contributing factors, the unrelated schizophrenia, and a contributing history of methamphetamine withdrawal. So was he also
Yeah, he's a meth addict.
Was it prior to this, or was he going through withdrawal as this was happening? That's another thing.
As this is happening, I think.
Okay, well then, see
the way I read it in the official report.
So that was another major issue. If the jail staff, and that's again something that medical staff at larger facilities that I have some connection with, they watch out for withdrawals. But if the guy couldn't even tell them his medical history, and he was not a known factor, they may never have known that he was going through methamphetamine withdrawal. It could have been lost in the general condition, his general psychosis. But he died from prolonged detention by the jail staff as a group, the report says. Let's see, the report states, and this is another thing that makes me think that it's a very small jail and they weren't equipped to deal with this. Because it didn't sound they had the staff. The report states that because jail staff only monitor the cell blocks, including McLemore's cell, for 4-hour blocks at a time, individual employees did not realize that McLemore never asked to use the bathroom or that he rarely ate or drank. This is, in my opinion, this is a procedural failing on the part of the facility, because there should have been written pass-alongs, or at least verbal pass-alongs.
I agree with that. I thought that too on that same part. Like they should have been communicating with each other.
Yeah, I mean, this happens. Communication breakdowns happen, but this one happened over a very long period of time. 20 days, that's a pretty long period, but not
may be an issue the jail has never had to deal with before.
Yep. No, that's like I said, it comes back to my theory. This is a small facility. Let's see.
And they just had no procedure for passing along these notes because it had never been an issue before, so they never developed it.
Yep. Uh-oh. Sigma mental health is bad enough without misinformation being taught by this nut job.
Yeah.
I hope the nut job you're referring to is Mr. DeCastro, because I'm trying to dispel his nonsense as best I can.
No, it's the Welshman.
Oh, the Welshman. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
it's not my fault.
I can't wait to tell Kick then.
Because I get. Okay, Kelly, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't coming across completely wrong, because I'm not trying to make light of the fact this guy died. I'm not, and I really do think this is a failure from beginning to end. The system let this guy down, like so many other mental people and mental people who have suffered from mental illnesses. I mean, I see this in my work life. I see people come in, they are having some sort of a mental break, mental psychotic event, whatever. They get properly medicated. They're in because it broke somebody's windows, or they were behaving weirdly on the street or whatever. So they come in to a jail. They end up in there for a while. The jail has a medical staff. They know the person's medical history, or they can get it out of them. They get them properly medicated. The people, when they get released from the jail, they're 200% better than they were when they came in. Yeah, Kelly, when I say the legislative laws and regulation, that's the system too, because everybody, well, I don't know the details, but
this brings a huge spotlight on a huge problem in the US. You are trying to have your police officers and jailers be social workers and mental health caregivers without any fucking training. Even the training you're talking about, Steve, really is a joke.
Oh yeah, it's very superficial. It's just sort of, it's triage type training. It's recognizing the signs and know you got to get a hold of someone that knows how to handle this. But the where I see it, and it makes me sad, is the person comes in, they get medicated, they get released, and they're back again 3 months later.
Yeah, because you've completely cut out the non-criminal mental health care.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to get hold of in the US. And I don't mean, going to talk to your therapist or things that they call mental health care. I mean actual mental health care.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a prime example. My wife's nephew, he has been having a lot of behavioral issues to the point where he's violent. And they had spent 6 months trying to get him into a residential treatment facility for youths because they didn't have beds. And so they would take him to the emergency room to get him to get calmed down. And then he would be there for 2 or 3 days, and they would take him home and he would act up again, to the point where he was threatening people with knives, and they still couldn't get him into a bed because there just wasn't anything there. They finally did get him into a facility, and he is doing much better now. But the hell that they went through in order to just get him there was just extremely frustrating.
Yeah, I've had conversations with family members of people that are having mental breaks, and that's the frustration. They come in, they say, "Can't you send him, to the hospital? Can you do this? Can you do that?" And unfortunately, all we can say is no. All we can do is put you in touch with social services and social workers. All we can do is what the court tells us to do. I mean, if you're at the jail, that's what I'm saying. That if you're talking from the position of the jail, and the smaller facilities, they just don't have the. That's for Phil, I assume.
What was
Bill?
that?
What state are you in? I think
Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
That's what state your nephew's in, yeah?
Yeah, he's in Iowa too. He's actually in a. I live in Des Moines, which is the largest city in Iowa. Roughly
Kelly, in
half of.
case you don't know, is a advocate for people.
Yeah.
A genuine one. I hate using the word advocate because of how Regan Benson uses it, but
Yeah.
no, I mean an actual advocate, a proper one.
And I also know the people you're referring to, Kelly. Again, I'm on the fringes of all this stuff. And in the last couple of years, I've seen an uptick in how frequently they are coming in to actually shepherd these people through the system, and interact more with some of the family support structures if they exist. So tiny little steps are being taken, but it is still a major and extremely tragic problem from my point of view.
Yeah,
And
but the steps that have been taken, Steve, are the equivalent of trying to bail out the Titanic with a thimble.
yep, I can't. I wish I could say otherwise, but yeah, I agree.
Don't get me wrong, it's a problem here as well, not to the same degree, but it irks the crap out of me here and all.
I'm sorry. So what? I just had a weird bing on my machine.
It's a problem here as well as in the US, but not to the same degree. And even here, it irks the hell out of me that people are not getting the treatment they should when they should get it.
Yeah.
Well, to finish my Iowa story. So I'm in the largest city. He's in a small town, about 1,500 people, in a small county, which has about 25,000 people, and there's just nowhere for him to go. And then on top of that, several governors previous to the current one we have cut funding for mental health. So most of our state-run facilities were closed down because the state came along and did a review and said, well, you're underfunded and your building sucks. So let's just close it down. So now we have an area where, like, he's a youth. He's not quite a teen. I think he's about 10 now. And there's just nowhere to send him except for one facility that's in Des Moines, but then had beds full. So
Yep.
It's not like they can just go, okay, well, you're good. We got to make room for somebody else. So
Yeah.
they just had to wait. And that's the frustrating part, is there's just nowhere to put him. In the meantime, the family's afraid they're going to get stabbed. And,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah, and like Kelly said,
and there's no advocates in our state house to take this to pick it up and say, yes, we need to remedy this. And
Yeah.
that's the real frustrating part about it.
Of course, there won't be any advocates for that. That requires spending public money on something that isn't as popular. Let's be honest, that's why there's no advocates for it.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I don't mean this to sound like a political thing. We're run mostly by Republicans, and most of them tend to be the libertarian small government people. So anytime you bring up things like community health, like this would be good for society as a whole, that's socialism.
Well, it's not just that, but take the prisons, for instance. We all know it's a really stupid idea to try and feed a human on what they will expend per day for prisoners' meals. We all know it's stupid. We all know it doesn't work because none of us can do it in our real lives. None of us.
yeah,
But yet we're expected to believe that they can be provided a proper meal and we can start working on rehabilitation and blah, 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 while spending I think it's 39 cents per meal per prisoner.
Yep. No, Kelly, he's actually in the residential facility now. He's spent several months there by himself, and he's now transitioning to periods of time at home, and then with the facility, and then back at home, and he's now almost at home full time. So he's doing extremely well now as a therapist and medication and everything else. It just was that period of time where there just was nowhere to get him, and they just had to wait for that space to open up.
And the really frustrating part is when you realize that their mental health thing can get harder to look after because they made them wait that long.
Right.
The issue has become worse.
Yeah, deteriorate. And that's when I was saying, I don't know if Kelly and I are using advocate in the same way. I was referring to social workers. I'm seeing a lot more social workers that actually are handling the cases than in years prior. And a couple of folks I haven't seen come back in a while, which is good. I hope it's not because they're no longer with us, but that they finally got the help they needed. One of the facilities that I know a little bit about the workings of, I don't know if this is still the case, but at one time, I'm talking about a jail here, a county jail, and at one time it was considered the second largest mental health facility in the state. And the doctors and everybody there even says, we're not equipped to be a mental health facility, but we have to be one because these people have nowhere to go, and they keep ending up getting, like I said, getting set straight, and then they get tossed out because
just think how
sad
sad
that fired, and that's it.
Think how sad that is, that a jail is the second best mental health facility in a state.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's pretty awful.
But you've got so many of the programs that would help them are so chronically underfunded. I mean, what? The average social worker, I think they say, has 198 cases to deal with. That's what they're in charge of.
Yep.
In charge of your average social worker. How the hell are they supposed to give a single one of those cases the correct amount of care and attention that it needs?
Yep, that is correct.
If you think that they work, say, a 40-hour week, and they half an hour for the average call or whatever with someone under their care, that's 80 that they could deal with in a week. Maximum. Yet they have over double that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's what resulted in Mr. McLemore here, the situation he found himself in. And let's see. Again, since Cholito couldn't bother reading to the end of the article, let's see. Or did I see that somewhere else? Got a quote from the prosecutor. Let's see if it's here. Yes, according to Chalfant, intentional, quote, knowing, quote, and reckless, quote, culpability are very different from the civil concept of negligence. In the report, Chalfant said negligence is essentially a breach of reasonable duty of care owned by a person or entity to another person. According to Chalfant's statement, during his stay in the jail staff did periodically observe Mr. McLemore and did note that he was not eating, that his cell was a mess, and that he was dirty, that he's largely non-responsive when they spoke to him. And I'm thinking that's part of the problem too, that they were having a hard time telling how quickly he was deteriorating. Jail staff did not connect this information together and inferred that Mr. McLemore needed medical attention. Yeah. His statement continues, whether a person or entity has a duty of reasonable care toward a person, and if that care was sufficient or a breach of that duty of reasonable care are matters of civil law, not criminal law. And that was also annoying me the whole time during Cholito's antics today. that if anything has to happen, it's going to happen in the civil arena, not the criminal arena, because nobody locked him in their bathroom and refused to give him water the way Chile kept presenting it. That never happened. Okay, post a URL. Yeah, if I can find their website, I'll put it up. Unless you put it somewhere that I'm not seeing, which is certainly possible. Well, no. I think we already went down the
There is the thing of this case, despite what Chile's trying to say, happened in 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And
during COVID. And you know who agrees with your statement that you just made? The family of the guy.
Right.
Oh, really?
Why it's made the news right now is because they have actually instigated a wrongful death suit.
Okay.
And Dan, would you like to share with the class who they didn't include in their wrongful death suit?
The prosecutor.
Yeah.
Because he had no. That's the thing. That's why I said at the top of it. It might have been inelegantly phrased, which prompted Kelly's reaction. But the one part of the system that did not fail this guy in this case is the prosecutor. I mean, he says right here that he looked at the Indiana police's investigation and agreed with them that none of the jail staff committed an act of omission that constituted a crime, and that he died through the prolonged lack of attention by the Jackson County jail staff as a group. That is a civil case. That is not. There is no criminal liability here. Nobody beat him up or locked him in a room. It's terrible, and I'm not trying to minimize this guy's suffering, but Chilito has it all wrong, and just using it as a, one of the phrases he used in his live stream, either the second one or the first one, was that to the cops, everything looks like a nail. And no, this is completely wrong. I don't think he read this thing all the way through. Number one. Number two, I don't know that it's kind of sad where somebody like me that does not put any claim to having any legal knowledge whatsoever, other than what I've just kind of picked up willy-nilly along the way, even I can see that what happened here was not criminal. I mean, prosecutor, therefore, there is no evidence that Mr. McLemore was the victim of murder, voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, or reckless homicide. Those would be the criminal categories. And was it murder? Nope, because nobody said out. Was it voluntary manslaughter? Because nobody took direct steps that of negligence that wasn't his death. Involuntary manslaughter, again, apply. And reckless homicide, no. I mean, it's just nonsense. Do you want me to give you a wrench, Kelly, for a moment?
Well, explain to me too. What has thirsted somebody to death? I don't understand that.
I do understand it, unfortunately, and it's not what Chile thinks it is.
No.
It literally would mean that you died because you so badly sexually wanted somebody.
Oh, okay. It didn't mean what I thought it meant. Okay. Let me see. Now you got me curious. I know I'm told never to Google anything.
So would Steve's...
But let's see. Getting close to me having to wrap up tonight's stream. Sorry, guys. This has not been the usual humor. This has been very serious. But I just felt this was serious. The way he was completely misrepresenting it needed to be brought up. And yeah, Kelly, I think I didn't turn it down, but I was boiling listening to him, which is, I think, my degree of all capped comments in the chat probably gave that away. So thirsting. What is thirsting? Okay.
We have told
I'll
you
have a
numerous
strong desire.
times, don't do this.
I know. I'm not to put it up on screen. I've learned that lesson. Oh, here we go. Thirsting. The Urban Dictionary. Tonight we get educated. To flirt with multiple women at the same multiple women, and have no real intention, seeking only sexual release from them. Chris was thirsting for multiple women and made them feel special, but he only wanted to have coitus with them. Why would you use? Well, whatever. Thirsting when you get knocked down in Fortnite. Okay. Thirsting. You are dehydrated. I'm thirsting to death. Okay, so it is actually a slang usage, I guess, but yeah. It sounds dumb. I mean, the way he keeps
Because
using
it
it.
is. He
Yeah,
dehydrated.
Yeah. Dehydration, dehydrated. Yeah. His thing with Deborah was just laughable. Although I was in a facility once where there was a guy crying about and like, screaming about how he wanted something to drink, how he was dying of thirst. And I went over and talked to one of the booking officers, and we got a nurse in there. And the nurse informed both of us, since he had just come on, that the guy has a cup, he has a sink, he's been pointed out to him that he has it, and it was somebody that was having a break, a psychotic break. So, and I probably would have minded my own business if I hadn't not had anything else to do with my time that day. So that was not the right URL. Yeah, it's a term that came from the DUI DeBoer Rogers saga with Chile. That's when he started using it. At least that's why I first saw him using it. Oh, NAMI in Iowa. I just sort of threw up a link that I had. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll pass that. I'll pass that along. The parents have a really good support group, and like I said, the nephew is doing really, really well now. But I will pass that along.
Let's see. Do they have an Iowa chapter? All right. I don't even know.
Yes, we do have things here, Steve.
You do.
Yes.
NamiIowa.org.
There was there's something there other than cornfields. Okay, that's in Superman's birthplace. That was in Iowa too, wasn't it?
We also have the National Hobo Museum, and people are using the word hobo wrong.
The National Hobo.
They're noble people.
The hobos are noble people.
Yes.
Let's see. Hobo, a homeless person, a tramp. But you're saying the hobos are noble people?
Yes, they are actually.
Oh.
Wait, no, you got to be careful. Because under those definitions, homeless person, tramp, or vagrant, then Chile would qualify as a hobo.
He's definitely not a hobo. No. Now they used to travel by rail. That was the main modes of travel for hobos. They had a whole system worked out. They would mark towns, with what's a good town to go in, where people are nice, where people are mean. They had their own language. I mean, it's really fascinating to learn about the history of like being an actual hobo. So we have a town in Iowa called Britt. It's a really small town, like 500 people. They have a national hobo festival every August. It's kind of fun.
Really?
Hey, Phil, we're all for running Chile out of town on the rails.
Great, send him here. Oh, send him here.
Gladly.
I know people on the rails.
Yeah, Happy Hobos. Should we end the evening cartoon?
Sure.
Who can say no to a cartoon?
There we go. We have the links. Yeah, this is the original Tom. This is a 1933, I think. So never
Surrender
said.
Monkey, you missed the beginning of the stream. I'm not having sex with you because I fear the monkeypox.
This might be too small to watch, but let's see. Let's make it bigger. Shift it. Turn it. Why not? No, that didn't work. It's bigger. If not, just
Send us the link.
watch it over.
Post the link in the chat,
Yeah.
and I'll open it up.
All right. This actually, it's not one of the. It's. There are better Tom and Jerry ones. 1930s cartoon is a hobby of mine. So let's see here. I think this will do it. Copy. There we go. Yeah, this actually looks like downtown Seattle. I wish I was exaggerating.
Clicked on the wrong one. That one.
Oh, wait, maybe I sent you the wrong link.
No, I clicked on the wrong thing.
There it is.
Okay, you ready?
And yeah, did I just mess that up? I think I just messed that up.
No, I just haven't pressed play yet.
Oh, okay.
I was just asking if you were ready for it.
Yes. Sound coming through? Or did I just pull the sound? I'm curious. Those 1930 cartoons can be pretty cool. And just weird, like this part.
I should try that with my smoker.
Come on, boys, have something to eat.
All right. So that's one of the adventures of one of the original Tom and Jerry. The producer was Van Buren. Well, you saw that on the screen, but yeah, they were actually bigger than Disney early on. And, um, They were a competitor of Max Fleischer. And unfortunately, though, Fleischer was more concerned with quality than Van Buren, Van Buren was. The Tom and Jerry's benefited from having some of the better people working on them, but it was truly just a sweatshop and an assembly line of cartoons. And some of them are like this one are pretty elaborate. Some of them are pretty basic, but I highly recommend them. Over on my Shades of Grey blog, there's a page where all of the Tom and Jerry cartoons are indexed with to post. You just click on the post, and there's a link to the YouTube video, and you can watch it, or you can dig them out. I'm glad to hear it, Carrie. And Dan, thank you for making up for my lack of techness. I appreciate
No
you.
problem. Always happy to help.
But I think that's a good note to end tonight on. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Phil, for coming up and helping out and making this a lot more entertaining than just me blathering on. And Dan,
It's Pope Phil, Steve. From now on, it's Pope Phil.
it's Pope Phil. Sorry, Pope Phil. I apologize. All hail the Jelly God. Even though this is all denominations are welcome here. All faiths are welcome in the stream. But still, all hail the Jelly God.
Except for whatever the hell it is that Chili believes.
Yes.
Oh,
Or coded.
Fuck itself right off.
Or coded.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to end tonight on laughter, but Jesus Christ, that letter he was writing. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, that thing was awesome. That thing, yeah.
I don't think he actually sent it. To be honest with you, I don't think he actually sent it. I think he composed it for his audience, but I don't think he actually sent it.
I was actually fascinated by the fact that he was soliciting the audience's opinion. That seemed out of character, but maybe Surrender Monkey. I have some of those cartoons, so perhaps we'll run another Van Buren cartoon in one of these streams, because actually there's a Tom and Jerry one that has sexy monkeys. So okay, I will have
to. Steve, you should finish each one with a cartoon.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm between Dan and Surrender Monkey and Kelly being happy with this, yeah, you know what, guys, I think this will now be a set thing.
Sounds good.
And
it's a good idea.
Lord knows I've watched enough of these to know exactly what to put up that will hopefully amuse people. So,
I like the Tom and Jerry's from the 40s and the 50s. I love those.
The cat and mouse ones, or
yes,
yep.
Yeah, but the early ones.
Yes. I haven't watched a lot of those, but the ones I have seen, I agree with you. It's when we start getting toward the end of the 50s and into the 60s. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but Scooby-Doo is the only thing that I care for from that period. Well, and was it Wacky Races? Was that the name of the thing?
Races. Wacky Races, yeah.
Wacky Races.
Don't forget Catch the Pigeon.
What?
Seriously, you don't know Catch the Pigeon?
Catch the Pigeon? No, I do not. Or I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Let me see. Mighty Mouse and Super Chicken.
I was a Speed Racer fan.
Never did see that. I mean, I know of it, but I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, that was
I read one of the comics by Now Comics in the 80s. Dastardly Muttley in their flying machines. Could that be it? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yes, I do know what that is. I had forgotten about that. That's like originally made in like the mid '60s and then rerun in the '70s.
Forever.
Yeah, there we go.
Air that. It's brilliant.
Oh, it's still being run somewhere?
Yep.
Hopefully. Yes. All right. Oh, definitely. Now that I see exactly who they are, yes. This is yes. This is a great series. That was great. Wacky Racers, Captain Caveman, Ask. Oh, Render Monkey introduced me to something I was not aware of. Have you ever read Viz Comics?
Surrender Monkey, all I'm going to say is 2 fat slags.
That's where it came up the other night. And I went and looked it up, and at first they sounded like they were like the female version of Beavis and Butthead, but then I got into a bit more, and
Oh, God, no, Beavis and Butthead are far too tame.
right, that's what I realized. Wacky Racers, not races. I kept saying that wrong. Yep. Yep. And Dick Dastardly and Mumbly.
Muttley.
Muttley.
Not Mumbly, it's Muttley.
But yeah. Guy, right? As I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The dog.
Those.
It's Dick Dastardly's dog.
Yep. Yep. Okay, guys and gals and people in general, thank you all. I can appreciate you hanging out for tonight. And yes, cartoons will now be a when I thought
Thundercats.
I failed to realize you guys had started a second Chility stream, and I was thinking, my God, that guy's worse at ending his streams than I am. He just goes on, and here I am. But
it's
you guys,
going to be Transformers rather than Thundercats.
You know, I've seen clips of Thundercats, because there was about 3 minutes where I was working on a Thundercat role-playing game until I realized that they didn't actually have the license yet, and I said, "Oh, when you get the license, get back to me." But other than that, that was all I have. That's all. But Transformers, I've never seen a single episode.
What?
Yeah, totally passed me by.
The cartoon is way better than the movies.
The original cartoon.
Haven't even seen the movies.
Oh, don't worry about it. Unless you're watching the animated movie, don't worry about it. You ain't missed anything.
Yeah. It's
That's
and
what
Kelly, it's been building up all day for most of
everyone
us.
who was a child in the 1980s. Fuck you, Hasbro. Fuck you. Stop killing Optimus Prime, you bastards.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, Kelly, you don't need to apologize, because the reason I changed my plans for tonight was exactly because I was very irritated and frustrated by Chili's nonsense. So we were all right there with you, I think.
Yes.
Especially
he's getting worse. I mean, he is just. I didn't think it was possible, but he is getting worse.
Yeah, maybe we're about due for another series of live streams where he threatens people. I'm starting to. Well, he was threatening the prosecutor, frankly.
And the prosecutor's kids. I mean, my God, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Good night, Jesse. Good night, Surrender Monkey. We don't stoop. Yeah, we don't stop either. But yeah. What was wrong? That completely out of bounds. It should be completely out of bounds.
Yep. Well, this goes back to what I was saying about talking about on the live the night before.
Yeah.
About the way people need to behave.
And what is so mind-blowing was his quite frankly, histrionics about his mother getting a phone call and process servers showing up at his sister's door because he was living there. And then what is he doing? He's doing the exact same thing, only worse. He-Man, I saw the movies. I've seen clips from the cartoons, but I haven't actually...
Oh, God, not that movie. No. Please, God, not that movie.
The Dolph Lundgren movie?
The only movie that makes the Transformers movies look good.
You're right.
Oh my.
Oh, hey, Steve, can you hold on for just a minute? I need to get something off my chest.
Okay, sure.
Oh God, he's
Um,
stripping again.
Well, no, I already, everybody knows I type in my underwear in my recliner. No, I just want to, in regards to your stream last night, Dan, I was a peripheral part of all of that. I was actually part of Reaper's channel when we came up with Tro. I actually came up with the spelling of Tro because it rhymes with toe and it's easy to spell. um, and then I kind of got sucked into the whole, Troll Patrol, but it got way out of hand. Like that was just nuts.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to highlight, that no one involved in it was bad. They just all egged each other on and it had gone too far.
Well, and I wasn't aware of like the behind the scenes stuff. Like I'm on your Discord. Yours is the only Discord I'm actually on. I don't even use it. Like I have a different name on Discord because, I don't know what I'm doing. It's not a thing. So I was not a part of all of that. Where I started getting a little bit uncomfortable with is when you start trying to give people titles like general and then ordering people to go out and do stuff. Like, this isn't real. It's not a real army. It's a joke.
See, I like Irish. I don't know if you're aware of Irish Demon's army.
Oh, yeah, I'm part of his army. Yeah.
Me too. I must admit, I'm a paid up member. I'm part of the army.
Yeah.
But it's a joke. It's just meant as a piss take, taking the piss out of Chile.
Well, and that's the whole idea behind the Troll Patrol was to, because Jeremiah would go on about the Tros, and you're like, what are you talking about? And I was unaware of the things that you had brought out in your stream, like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Like that's just, it never involved me. But yeah, I used to go into his chat and egg him on, just because the constant begging upsets me.
I can understand that.
The fact that the begging isn't what upsets me. It's the fact that people buy into it. Like, can you not see what's going on here? What is wrong with you? So, yeah, I would be.
Those people, though, are well-meaning. They're thinking about that kid.
Right. But after a while, you're punching down. It's not fun. It's like that New York Public Tours guy. I don't think he has the understanding enough to know what he's doing. And after a while, you get to realize he just doesn't comprehend it at all. And there's no amount of talking to him that's going to make him comprehend it. He just doesn't get it. And so after a while, you're just like, this is boring. So I'm kind of like Johnny O, tonight. Like it's just boring.
Yeah.
So I distance myself from them. I just want to come clean that, yes, I was part of that, but not a very peripheral part.
I know lots of people who were in the same boat. That's where initially it got to my ears.
Yeah,
my personal opinion is, and this is just my own opinion, allegedly, and in my opinion of my alleged opinion is, Falcax has a lot to do with it. There seemed to be a shift when he joined. Not for the good. I'm not a fan, but that's just me.
Like I said, I think no one in there went in there with bad intentions. I think it just got out of hand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Need to take a breath, step back, and think about what they're doing.
Yeah, and I've never, by the way, I've never texted anybody, called anybody. I would never do that. I make smart-ass comments in chats.
Yeah,
but I just make smart.
It has been hilarious. I mean,
yeah,
from some of the supporters, it has been so over the top. You'd think I'd called for pitchforks and lit torches to go after people.
Right.
I mean, Becca has literally been threatened.
That's just not right.
Seriously.
She barely said 5 words.
Okay.
Yet the person they don't threaten is me.
Right.
Okay, so why did they target the only female on the show? Don't target me, don't target Hank, don't target Mark, don't target Jim or Hank. Nope. All of whom said far more than Becca ever did.
Right.
Well, I think Kelly has the.
Yes, he's a scary Welshman.
Well, I mean, I think I mentioned that the other night that I just never have grasped why people have to take arguments like this and online, frankly, silliness and stupidity out into the real world and into the point where it's affecting people's real lives and actually can possibly even be dangerous. Like again, the topic I keep wanted to look into is the whole swatting thing. I don't get it. Did you guys know that you don't need a driver's license if you're not operating in commerce according to law?
How to say you're a subset without saying you're a subset?
Yes. Well, Austin, you're coming in just as we are going out.
Anyway, I just wanted to make my own mea culpa there. That I did have a part in
Nothing
it.
to make a mea culpa about. You didn't do anything wrong.
No, but I also don't want it to be come off as like I didn't have a part in it because I did. That's all I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Okay.
I did egg it on.
Well, the answer is that you do need a driver's license if you're not operating in commerce according to law. I don't think there's a state in the union that doesn't have laws and regulations on the books governing that.
I don't know. Montana might not, but
or
Idaho. Or Idaho.
But that's a conversation.
South Dakota or North Dakota, they're pretty sparse.
Well, that's a conversation we'll have to get into another night because I am.
Hang on, wait. Have you seen the chat here? Phil's getting smooches.
Oh, thanks, Kelly.
I never get smooches.
I know, and it's your channel, and you're not getting smooches.
That's because I'm Pope.
That's true. Pope Phil must get smooches. The ring, we have to smooch the ring.
Yeah, it's the ring. Yep.
Yeah. Although on a similar note with what Phil said, again, I had nothing to do with anything that was going on. I'm not in anyone's Discord. I think I finally went and joined Welsh News Network's Discord, but that's about it, I think. And the idea that all stuff. I'm just curious if 6 said, I know Jeremiah doesn't seem quite the lunatic that I thought he was, since what he was describing was actually happening on. Oh my God, going on.
Okay. Now, in fairness to everyone, that's only been going on for maybe a couple of weeks. I mean, Jerry is a nut job.
Oh, without doubt.
Oh, yeah, I'm not questioning that. But
he was blaming things. Recently, yes, but prior to that, he was blaming things like Kick that's how the whole Kick did it. That's how that all got started, was from Jerry, because he would just blame everything on Kick.
But it sounded like someone fed him things to make him think
They
that.
were. That was part of the problem.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Jeremetha and Sam Squatch are undoubtedly horrible, vile, disgusting, fucked up individuals. But does that make it better or worse when we push them that far?
Well, and that's the part where I want to thank you, Dan, is that yes, where I come at is, YouTube is just fun place for me, as it's supposed to be funny, and and I needed to take a step back and look at, yeah, you're right, we're pushing this guy who's already unstable to a further unstable place. That cannot be good.
Yeah. And just to take it to its logical conclusion, how would you feel, Phil, if tomorrow you pick up the newspaper and find out that that idiot has gone and shot himself, his wife, and his kid?
Oh, horrible. Just
Yeah.
absolutely horrible. And I didn't even do that much. I mean, but yes, I'd feel just absolutely horrible.
Everybody involved would lose. Everybody.
Yeah. So I do have another.
That's why I wasn't doing the whole go after the people who are doing it, railroad them, hammer them with the sledgehammer thing. No, it was all aimed at trying to get people to take a look at what they're doing. If they're happy with what they're doing, you have at it. You do you. That's your choice.
Right.
But take a look at what you're doing before the consequences arrive that you can't take back. If I upset Steve, say, on here, and Steve and I no longer speak, and we don't go to each other's broadcasts, okay, well, big whoop. It will neither affect Steve's life nor my life.
Right.
It'd make mine better, because then I would be the only one here with Steve.
You're the one that called me up here.
I just needed the white smoke
So,
to be named both.
so there's something that I'm not comprehending around in the side chat, and I have another 10 minutes before I have to wrap it up, based on my own personal deadlines. I think.
Is this your first interaction with sovereign citizens?
Austin is asking for a link to come up. Do you guys have another 10 minutes to talk to him? Something about you guys not respecting cops. And I don't know where that's coming from.
That'd be a bit difficult when we literally have one on the show most nights.
Yeah.
I hate cops. I hate them. Tyrants. Tridents.
I'm telling Blue you said that.
You tell him I called him a trident.
He's not that far from you.
I know.
No. Well, I don't. I mean, Austin has been in here before with some sovereigns, sort of the flat
Wonderful
Earth conversations and stuff. So
yeah, wonderful.
I don't know.
He's a big fan of Sovereign Soul, Unchanged Mind.
Hey, are you? By the way, are you coming to Iowa, Dan?
Yes, partly I will be.
Well,
wonderful.
I'm visiting Ironton. I can't think why. Oh yeah, I remember.
That's Ohio, not Iowa.
All right.
Iowa. It's close enough.
No, not really.
Let's give this a shot. We can always.
I'm trying to bribe you with brisket.
Here we have Austin.
Oh shit! What's going on?
Hey, Austin.
Mr. Powers? Oh no, not Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me. I just finished eating a steak, so I might have something in my teeth. But anyways, I don't know. I went on YouTube and I seen a bunch of people speaking about sovereign and all this other bullshit. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents in. I was wondering, why Welsh News Network thinks that you need a commercial driver's license to travel on private property, when driver is a commercial term.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah, no,
According
driver's
to
not a
what?
commercial. Well, driver's not a commercial term, and I live in Iowa.
What
And
is the
if I want
definition?
to,
What's the
well,
definition of a driver?
well, let's
What's the
stop for a minute.
definition of a driver? What's
Well,
the
let's.
definition? What's
I'll,
the
I'll get
hold
to
on?
that. I'll get to
No,
that.
no,
But
no. Let's get to it right away. Let's get to it. Let's
no,
get
because
to it right away.
you made a claim
No,
about private
let's get to it.
property.
Let's get to it right away. So, what's the definition?
Someone
of
who
driver?
who is in control operation of your car or vehicle,
No,
a
that's
motor
not the
vehicle with
definition of
an.
driver.
It is in Iowa.
Yeah, no, that's according to the UCC. That's not the definition of driver.
No one
Driver's
drives
a
under the
commercial
UCC.
term.
Driver.
UCC is a uniformed commercial code. No one here is
correct.
involved in a commercial activity, so the UCC has no bearing on anything.
There's also a bigger problem.
UCC hasn't dragged on anything, period. And a
What's the
driver.
bigger
UCC
problem?
is
What's the bigger
federal.
problem?
UCC is federal. You are required a driver's license by state law.
Right.
Under the 10th Amendment,
Also,
which grants states the ability to control their sovereignty, which means that each state can construct laws that are required in that state. And when you travel to that state, you are required to follow the laws of that state. You're required to know the laws of that state. So if I drive from Iowa to Minneapolis, if I drive from Iowa to Minnesota, I need to know Minnesota traffic law because I'm in Minnesota.
Law, but you're saying the word law.
Yes, it's called
Yeah.
statutory. It's called statutory law.
You should be saying policy codes and statutes. You should
No.
be saying
No,
law.
statutes are laws.
There's
Statutes
lawful,
are laws
lawful,
passed.
legal, lawful, and
No,
legal.
you're
Lawful
wrong.
and legal are two
No,
different
you're
things.
just flat wrong.
There's
You just don't
common law.
understand.
There's
No,
common
there isn't.
law.
That's not a thing.
There's common law.
That's
There's
not a
common
thing.
law.
That's not a thing.
See, you're still confused.
No, I'm not.
Really
That's not a
We
thing.
just haven't been
You'll
dropped
wake
on our
up
heads.
eventually.
That's not a thing.
I used to be
Statutes
retarded.
are laws
I
which
used
are
to-
passed by
used to be-
governments
I-
of that
I used
state.
to be-
That is
I used to
law in that
Yep.
state.
I used to be uneducated, just like you. I used to be uneducated. Just like you.
I don't think
Difference
so.
between lawful and legal.
I'm pretty sure you haven't.
No, I used to. Not
This
know
is-
the difference.
This is a joke, right?
No,
Like
no.
you're
No, I
just
used
trying
to-
to troll, right?
Phil, Austin
No,
used to be
I
a
no, I'm
Marine.
telling you.
We're gonna turn
I'm
everybody
telling
down
you.
for a
I'm telling
moment.
you. I used to not know the difference between lawful and legal, just like you, because you're saying law. which
Then
you don't
were you
understand
dropped on
common
your
law.
head and just
You don't
screwed up, or
understand
what?
common law.
What's the deal? Well, here's
you
what I
don't
understand, Austin.
No, I don't care what you understand.
I'm muting everybody for a moment because I want to tell you what the definition of driver is. What is a driver? Is a chauffeur, a pilot, an operator, or talking about trains and circles. So that is what a driver is. So there we go. Definition of driver has now been established. Oh wow, I can't turn people back on. What the hell? Whoopsie. I just silenced everybody.
I know. When somebody speaks too much truth,
Oh.
you can't handle it, and you have to silence them. You're operating
yeah.
under commerce. You're making money.
Uh,
If I'm
you
an
guys-
Uber driver,
That's fine.
He's not
Here's
monetized.
what I know, Austin. I have a
If
driver's
I'm- hey,
license.
hey,
I have a
hey,
registered
hey,
vehicle. I won't ever be stopped and pulled over and put in handcuffs and sent to jail because I don't ID and my car isn't registered. Now, if you would like to do all those things, have at it. I haven't had an interaction with a police officer in 30 years. So have at it. I don't care. You do you, man.
I used to be a slave just like you. I used to be
Okay.
unintelligent. I used to be just like you. Trust me, bro.
Okay.
I used to be
Okay. I doubt
uneducated.
that. I really doubt that.
You doubt what?
Because you can't be this stupid now.
You doubt what?
That you are ever as smart as me. Because you couldn't be this stupid
I
now.
never said that. I said I used to be uneducated just like you.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because if I know this at my small level of education, you should sure know way more than that.
You're making a fool of your.
No, you're just being an idiot.
No, I'm actually trying to educate you on
You
the
can't because you're an
definitions of the
idiot.
word driver.
You can't because you're an idiot. You can't because you're an idiot.
Tell me how I'm an idiot. Explain.
Easy, because
I'm
you're
trying to help you. I'm
using
trying to help
falling
you.
back
I'm trying to
onto the
educate you and
definition
get you.
I don't need your help.
You do.
I never asked for your help. I don't need your help.
You're deeply confused.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
You
not.
are.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I am is probably
What's the
have
definition?
more wealth because I don't pay tickets and I don't.
Silence everybody again, because everyone's talking over each other, and we already define a driver is someone that operates a vehicle of some sort. Period. Drivers are state passed statutes and laws, and driving has nothing to do with traveling. Driving is not equal to traveling, and equating the two, that's the nonsense. You can walk everywhere you want. You can ride a horse everywhere you want. That is not so. Having a driver's license is not impeding your quote traveling.
This is hilarious, man. I feel like, wow, it's like dealing with fucking toddlers. You guys just come up with your own definitions. Driver is not anything to do with fucking travel. A driver is somebody operating under commerce. You have to be making money. That's if you're transporting persons or products or like food. If I'm an Uber driver, I need a driver's license because I'm making money under commerce. It's a commercial term. You guys are fucking uneducated as fuck. You guys need serious fucking education. Serious fucking education. Wow, dude. You guys are ignorant. I know it's.
Hi.
Okay. Come on, Steve. You need more time. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, we're at the 2 hours. I mean,
all I can say is drugs are bad.
Now you know why I've been sober 40 years, Dan.
Believe it or not, though, Austin used to be a U.S. Marine.
Okay.
No, I'm being serious.
No, I don't doubt it.
Austin, you can't tell people not to do drugs when you're literally off your tits on cannabis nearly all the time. Just saying.
And yeah, also.
So you're lying then, Austin, when you were on Sovereign Souls claiming you used to be a Marine.
You know, there is an 11th edition, right? I'm just saying they have updated the term driver in Black's Law, but you know, look at the 11th edition.
Yeah.
They put out in the best quality English in the 2nd edition of Black's.
Oh, okay.
That a driver was somebody who's employed using a motor vehicle. However, they discovered that most people are too stupid to understand that employed can mean more than one thing.
Right.
So they took it out and never put it back in. And they literally issued a statement from blacks themselves saying, we have taken this out because people are stupid.
Well, yes, because employed means in the act, in the act of doing something.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm employed in speaking on YouTube right now, or at speaking on YouTube right now. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. The law dictionary. Now I'm real curious.
And it only ever appeared in Black's second edition.
Okay,
I
Right.
think they're now up to 13.
Right.
Okay, Black's Law Dictionary. One employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle with horses, mules, or other animals, or a bicycle, tricycle, or motor car, though not a street railroad car. Example, the law required every driver operating a motor vehicle on the public streets and roadways to obtain a state-issued license before doing so. Let's see. Well, that's interesting. And that's them going through. Who is this anyway? Let's see.
He also
Yeah.
likes hanging around one of my favorite kick toys. He likes hanging around Paul Unslaved.
Of course.
Let's see. About the Law Dictionary. Who are these people?
You know, here's the thing I enjoy, Dan. Not going to jail, not getting pulled over, not being hassled. But that's slavery.
Yeah. You know what
Okay,
gets me,
I'll be
though,
a slave.
is all these sovereign citizens, they go on about, oh, we're all slaves and that because we don't agree with them. Yet they live their life in constant fear of the police, and the rest of us don't.
I have a really nice Mercedes SUV. I don't want my windows broken because I did
Ooh,
actually have I have a GLS 550.
That is a nice one.
It is really nice. Yes, I'm getting it tuned later on this summer.
I've got the Jeep Grand Cherokee 2001 edition with the 4.7 litre.
Yes.
Which I have committed heresy to most Jeep owners. I have lowered and put on wider wheels and also done some modifications to the engine and exhaust.
Right. Well, I have the V8 twin turbo, and there's a company in California that'll tune it for me, so I will get over 500 horsepower, but more importantly, 777 foot-pounds of torque in all-wheel drive.
Nice.
Yeah.
My other car that everyone wants and keeps trying to steal off me is an Aston Martin.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Which one?
The V12.
Oh. I have an 04 Mercedes S55 AMG with the V8 supercharged, and I have that at slightly under 700 horsepower and slightly under 700 foot-pounds of torque.
Nice. That thing's got to have a lovely burble to it when it's just.
Oh, it does. It is sweet. The issue I'm having right now is my hydraulic transmission, so I'm probably about ready to go to coilovers just because it's way cheaper. But I don't know, ride quality is so nice.
Well, I
That's
have
the struggle I'm having.
Well, no, if you need Merc parts, let me know before. If you need Merc parts, let me know before I come over. No,
well,
I'm serious. Mercedes parts here are less than a third of what you pay.
Right. I have there's a Seika, which is a racing shock company, and I want to say they're in Japan, but they have a U.S. distribution. I'm working with them on a setup for it for coilovers. But
coilovers would be nice.
Yeah, I thought so.
I just the hydraulic transmission is just it is so smooth, and it is so nice, and it's so comfortable. It's just hard to give it up.
I must admit, I am thinking about airbags for the Jeep.
I have them on my Mercedes, and they are really nice. And I
And now
also
we're
have
just
the.
boring the hell out of Steve with car talk.
No. I am. I went over all of you guys. I have a Ford 2009 Ford Focus.
Hey, which one? The 1600?
Sure, because he
Yeah.
doesn't know what you're talking about.
Or
No,
the 18?
It's the Ford Focus SE, whatever that means.
Yeah, that'd be a 1.8.
Yeah.
The car I had, literally the engine blew up because they screwed up on an oil change, and I had to be back home the next day for a job
Wait,
interview.
how do you screw up on an oil change?
Oh, they did. They basically what I know about cars, I can put gas in them and make them go. That's
Yeah, but
about.
an oil change, you literally undo one nut, unscrew the oil
Yeah.
filter, put the new oil filter in, redo that nut, and pour oil in from the top. There you go, job done.
They tightened some bolts too tight or something, and it ruined the engine.
What?
That's what they told me.
That's
when
not possible.
when I picked up this Ford Focus, and just paid whatever they. Well, it was a place that sells secondhand cars, and so I got this, and now
Oh, I
I'm
know
driving
what
it till the wheels fall off.
Steve,
But
I can tell you what they actually did to your car.
Okay.
They forgot to put the oil in and ran it, and the engine seized.
Yeah.
Well,
or they
I made it
over-tight it, or they over.
Well,
made
the
it
only
halfway
thing
through
you
Oregon.
tighten would be the sump plug, and if you over tighten that, all you do is break the crush washer, and you have to untighten it and put a new crush washer on. It's like 50
Okay.
cents.
Yeah. Well, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they forgot to put oil in your car and tried running the engine.
Well, yeah.
That would not be a good thing.
Let me turn this guy on. Oh, nope, he went. I was about to say, all right, you know what? I'll let him up, but he went away, which is good because I need to call it a night.
Next time.
So next time we can talk more cars, and maybe Austin / Truther can come in, and we can maybe talk a little more civilly. Well, let's see
Oh,
here again.
No, they can't talk more civilly, but you might get a visit from Paul.
Well, I can't, but that's okay.
Paul came by a couple times. What's up, Austin?
What's up?
Hear ya.
I'm just here to talk more civilly.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I need to pack it in. Maybe show up earlier some other night. I don't know, if you click notifications, you'll know when I'm going to come on, and we can.
Oh no, I've been watching you the whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, then I'm really sorry.
No, you're good, man. No disrespect or nothing. I'll let you go. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm sorry that it got unpleasant, but yeah, pop up. We'll talk some other night, okay?
All right, have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Yep.
Night.
Good night, guys, and thank you again for coming up.
Well, we got you over the 2-hour mark. That was the most important part.
I feel that you're plotting against me.
No, we're just trying to get you those watch hours.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I'm about halfway there.
See?
So
yeah,
get them by October. Yeah.
I told you we'll get them much sooner for you. It just involves pink hair dye.
No. All right, Kelly. Thank you, and thank you everybody. And Austin, if you're still there, let's have a real conversation tonight, okay? But yeah, and let's figure out why you think we don't like police, because I think we pretty much do, and I kind of have to.
Yeah, no, I don't. I hate police. They're scum.
Okay.
I think Blue would shoot me if I didn't like the police.
Yeah. But
Chili's convinced me, Steve.
Okay, well, you're still welcome to come here. I'm taking away
Well,
your monitor,
looks like we're going to have our first Pope excommunicated.
Yeah.
No,
That
no,
blue-
no. I don't mean it. I don't mean it.
Say goodbye to that blue wrench. All right, everybody. Talk to you next time. Have a good one.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks,
Good night.
Dan.
Good night,
Catch you
everybody.
all next time.